LeBron likes the attention, likes it. Again, and you can sit there and go, oh, you're a LeBron hater or whatever. Like, no, I just don't know anybody who would dispute that. It's not like he's pushing away attention to his private life, to his off-court conversations. No, he wants attention to that.
Doug Gottlieb just went off on LeBron James, and suddenly the conversation isn't just about basketball anymore. Now it's about attention, control, leverage, and whether the most powerful player of this generation is still putting winning above everything else. Gottlieb didn't hold back. His message was simple but loaded. LeBron doesn't receive attention only because of his greatness. He understands it, embraces it, and knows exactly how to turn it into influence.
You know, he's got a player option. Because if he really, really, really wanted to win in LA, he would go, hey, here's what we'll do. Let's opt out of this, sign a minimal deal or a small deal over a couple of years, and then let's go to work and go get me some guys that can play some defense. And he wielded that power to get them to draft Bronny and play Bronny.
But here's the real question. Is Doug Gottlieb exposing something fans don't want to admit about LeBron at this stage of his career? Or is this just another media-driven narrative designed to tear him down? Let me know in the comments where you stand, because this debate is only getting louder.
LeBron's not going anywhere, right? They just drafted his son, and I'm sure he wants to leverage some of whatever farewell tour he has, okay, to potentially draft his other son, Bryce, who's going to be a freshman in Arizona. I'm sure that's probably part of the weight on his mind.
The criticism isn't coming from nowhere. No one is questioning LeBron's greatness. That part is already cemented in NBA history. The real discussion is about priorities. Gottlieb argues that LeBron has reached a phase where the focus may no longer be purely about chasing championships. Instead, it's about shaping narratives, maintaining leverage, and keeping his fingerprints on everything happening around him, from roster construction to media conversations, and even his family's future in the league.
Is this the last year, or do I wait another year and make that the last year?
Probably next season.
And we could act like, hey, LeBron, he could just walk away at any time. But does anyone think that a guy who has gotten and honestly earned as much attention as he's gotten, like, we can sit there and say a lot of these things are attention getting things, but I mean, have we seen a guy play as consistently well for 20 years in the NBA? No. Is he as good as he used to be? No. But to those of us who remember Kareem playing at 40, he was much more of a shell of his former incredible self.
The player option sits right at the center of this debate. Technically, LeBron holds the power to change everything. He could opt out, take less money, and push the Lakers to build a deeper, more defensive roster around him. He could sacrifice financially in pursuit of one final championship run. But he hasn't done that. And to critics like Gottlieb, that doesn't feel accidental. It suggests that leverage matters now more than ever. As long as LeBron maintains financial control and contract flexibility, the organization continues to orbit around him.
I'm not the guy that's sitting there hating on LeBron, telling you, oh my God, LeBron wants attention. Like, look, when you've gotten this much attention since you were 16 years old, and you've lived up to and probably exceeded anybody's reasonable expectations for what you could do or how well you could do it or how long you could do it, how well you could do it, you're going to get a bunch of attention, and it's a really, really hard lifestyle to get out of.
This is where the attention conversation really intensifies. LeBron has lived under the spotlight since he was a teenager. From high school phenom to global superstar, attention has always followed him. Early in his career, it was simply a byproduct of performance. Over time, it evolved into part of his brand. Now, some believe it has become a tool. Every appearance, every statement, every calculated silence keeps him at the center of the basketball universe. Gottlieb's argument is that LeBron doesn't shy away from the spotlight, he leans into it.
But if we're honest, he's not going anywhere.
No.
And he's not retiring without some sort of ceremonious retirement celebration. You know? Like, Kareem wants far less attention, yet Kareem did the whole tour after becoming the all-time leading scorer in the game. LeBron likes the attention. Likes it. Again, and you can sit there and go, oh, you're a LeBron hater or whatever. Like, no, I just don't know anybody who would dispute that. Right? It's not like he's pushing away attention to his private life, to his off-court conversations. No, he wants attention to that.
Then came the Bronny situation, which amplified everything. The moment the Lakers drafted his son, the narrative shifted from pure basketball to influence. Fair or unfair, many fans viewed it as proof of LeBron's power inside the league. A historic franchise making a decision tied directly to his presence reinforced the idea that LeBron isn't just a player, he's an institution. And with early conversations already swirling about Bryce potentially entering the NBA one day, that perception only continues to grow.
So, he's got his production company. That's his little baby. He makes movies and does documentaries out of it. All great. All of that requires attention that, hey, we have this here, and you get that through LeBron James getting attention. But, I mean, this is like a nonsensical question. He's got a player option. Because if he really, really, really wanted to win in LA, he would go, hey, here's what we'll do. Let's opt out of this, sign a minimal deal or a small deal.
Yep.
Over a couple of years, and then let's go to work and go get me some guys that can play some defense.
This is where the word selfish begins creeping into the conversation, but not in the traditional basketball sense. It's not about refusing to pass or playing hero ball. It's about personal priorities, playing alongside his sons, extending his career to control the final chapters, and using his influence to shape opportunities around him. None of that is inherently wrong, many would even call it admirable. But it shifts the lens away from pure championship pursuit and towards something else, legacy management.
And whether or not Bronny becomes a full-time NBA player and a guy who's a reasonable rotation player has actually nothing to do with the farce that took place last offseason. Because last offseason, we were told there was multiple teams interested. There weren't.
No.
You had J.J. Redick in one of his first press conferences saying he earned where he was drafted. He didn't. When Rich talks about the Lakers being on pins and needles, like, is that what you need? Is that, because that's obviously leverage. Why would you do this? You would only do it is if you want to have some sort of power over the organization that you play for.
And that's why the narrative keeps getting louder. Maintaining financial strength keeps the organization tied to his timeline. Every major decision becomes, in some way, a LeBron decision. Every season revolves around what he wants next. There's also the powerful media ecosystem surrounding him. Certain voices consistently defend LeBron, highlight his achievements, and counter negative storylines. Supporters call it earned respect. Critics call it a protective shield. Gottlieb suggests LeBron understands this system better than anyone and plays it masterfully. He doesn't just dominate on the court, he competes in the narrative game off it too. Then there's the retirement factor. LeBron isn't going to walk away quietly. When his farewell tour begins, it will be enormous, sold-out arenas, emotional tributes, non-stop coverage. Networks will build programming around it. The league will celebrate it. And LeBron knows exactly how powerful that moment will be. The longer he plays, the greater the anticipation becomes. Even now, his production remains elite compared to most players, around 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. For most veterans, that's exceptional. For LeBron, it's considered a decline, yet it still keeps him relevant, competitive, and central to the NBA storyline. Family continues to shape the conversation. Playing with Bronny was already historic. The possibility of sharing the court with Bryce one day would elevate that story even further. A father playing alongside both sons wouldn't just be sports, it would be history. And history drives attention. Attention creates influence. Influence builds power. Power creates leverage. That cycle sits at the heart of Gottlieb's argument and explains why the debate around LeBron has shifted from performance to intention. Once you start viewing his career through that lens, every move can feel calculated: contracts, interviews, public statements, even strategic silence. He's managing his career almost like a CEO manages a global brand. Maybe that's the real evolution of LeBron James. He's no longer just the athlete chasing greatness, he's the architect of his own ending. He's thinking about how he'll be remembered, how his family is positioned, how his business empire grows, and how the final years of his career unfold. Basketball is still a major piece, but it may not be the only one anymore. That doesn't mean championships don't matter. In fact, one more ring would change the conversation overnight. Imagine LeBron winning another title at 41. The narrative would flip instantly, from control and attention to sacrifice and timeless greatness. But until that happens, the debate stays alive. Is LeBron staying in Los Angeles because it gives him the best chance to win, or because it gives him the most control? Is the attention simply a byproduct of greatness, or something he actively uses? Is he protecting the franchise's future, or his personal timeline? There are no easy answers, which is exactly why the conversation keeps growing. For every critic who calls him calculated, there's a supporter who calls him strategic. For every analyst who claims he's holding the Lakers hostage, another argues he earned that power through decades of dominance. Some fans believe he's chasing family milestones. Others believe he's still chasing banners. The truth probably lives somewhere in the middle. LeBron can want to win and still value attention. He can care about championships while also caring about his sons. He can think about legacy while maintaining control. Those motivations don't cancel each other out, they coexist. And maybe that's what separates him from past legends. Jordan's era was about dominance. Kobe's was about obsession. LeBron's has been about influence. He helped redefine player empowerment, normalized athlete-driven media, and built a blueprint for turning superstars into global brands long before retirement. He even redefined longevity as a competitive weapon. Now, in the final stretch of his career, we're watching what it looks like when a player operates with complete awareness of his power. That awareness can look like control. Control can look like selfishness. Selfishness can look like strategy. And strategy can look like legacy building. Doug Gottlieb's comments tap directly into that tension. They force fans to consider that LeBron isn't just reacting to the NBA anymore, he may still be shaping it. And for critics, that might be the most frustrating part, because whether they like it or not, it's working. The Lakers stay in headlines. Every LeBron update trends. Every rumor sparks debate. Every milestone becomes an event. Even criticism fuels attention, bringing everything full circle. So now the question shifts to you. Is Doug Gottlieb right about LeBron chasing attention and control at this stage? Or is this simply what greatness looks like when a legend refuses to fade quietly? Should LeBron take a pay cut to help build a stronger contender, or does he deserve to use every ounce of leverage he's earned? Drop your thoughts below, because this debate isn't ending anytime soon, and every fan sees it differently.